act of doing things differently so that we can actually achieve a different outcome.
So are we really doing things differently? Because even as the president said, time has come for us to stop living beyond our means. But that statement might be a bitter pill for Kenyans to swallow
for many people.
Listen to what the Controller of Budget said recently, you know, that we might be budgeting, over budgeting in terms of salaries, that Kenyans might actually be budgeting corruption.
One thing I can tell you is, and this one I'm not afraid to say, there are people who are rooted within the government system who are still stuck in the Uhuru Kenyatta times. So for instance, he talked about we are making sure we collect the taxes, but people are still traveling. That has been a thorn in this government. I'm telling you that the president literally had to call people and say, can you stop with this nonsense? We even had the Felix Koske
head of public service,
put out a memo and say, guys, austerity measures must be practiced. You know why? Because when you take over government, there are some positions you can change. But then there are people who are deep-rooted down there. So you might be the PS, you might be the CS, but down there, the directors, the who sit there and they will tell you this is how we run the affairs. And that is what we've been trying to deal with. And I can tell you for a fact is that slowly you can see the changes that are being implemented. Slowly people will say, oh, these people who are being removed in these positions, it's just a political witch hunt. Those are because they were people of Kenyatta. No, it's because they are people who they are taking us down that hole which we don't want to go. And they the president has spoken to these people and told them, listen, get over that to Uhuru Kenyatta hangover. It is William Ruto in office. And we need to stop doing ABCD. And for 6-8 months, some of those people are so rigid that the only thing you can do is say, pack your bags, go, because we need to stop what is happening. And that's what Kenyans need to understand, is that we are in control of these systems. But for us to make it as efficient, you've seen what KEMSA is doing. There has to be people who have to be picked out and told, I'm sorry, but you don't understand the vision, you don't understand where this government is trying to take this country, step aside.
Can you cut you short a little bit earlier on?
No, it's fine, thank you. So, as I was telling you, we may say that there's no new taxation, but that's not what's happening. You see now the circulars that have been withdrawn very quickly. I was telling people the other day, when you see someone sometimes looking for a passport very urgently, and even going to the point of bribing because the CS himself called Nyayo House a crime scene, this person is probably going for a kidney transplant in India. There are people who are not taking passports as a luxury to go and travel in Seychelles. Many of those people want to go and look for a job in Saudi. Some want to go to Qatar. Some are going for cancer treatment, and so on and so forth. A passport is a basic document. It's like your ID. In fact, if it were possible, it should be free. I'm not saying we shall make it free. But if it were possible, it's such an important and critical document that a Kenyan must have by birth and by right because they are Kenyan. When it goes to the tune of what they were proposing, 7,500, now it even kills the dream of someone who was actually doing a harambe to go for medical treatment or for school or to look for a job in Qatar and wherever else.
So you're saying it's in bad taste?
So that is in bad taste. Now, let me tell you, 900,000 candidates are sitting Form 4 right now. So 900,000 times, if the ID is going to become 1,000, this government is going to raise another 900 million. From people, you know, when you leave high school, you have nothing. ID ingebaki tu yo mia moja. I mean, you leave high school, how much do you have? Basically, it's the same parent going back to their pocket now to look for money. Technically, what we are saying, we shall have another number of people who are not able to get IDs and so on and so forth. I think the Kenya Kwanza administration needs to start becoming sensitive to Kenyans and to know that for some of these documents that people are looking for, to even go to those government offices, to start looking, unafika Nyayo House unaambiwa wapi ID. And the other day I was in Harambe House. I'd gone to that annex. By the way, was I going to Harambe House under this administration? Anyway, I went because I'm a Kenyan and I need citizens from. And I got there and I also leave your ID here. So I'm thinking the young people now who will not have an ID will not go to Harambe House because the ID is 1,000 bob and not everybody has 1,000 bob. Wanalia 200 ya unga niyo. So this administration needs to start thinking of how insensitive they are when they become overly ambitious with taxation And now you've seen people avoiding Lipa na M-Pesa. They are saying, oh, sijui withdraw, sijui what. Kenyans are very clever. They find a way to hide around things and to survive. I think what we need to start doing is to ask ourselves as a nation, before we go into taxing more, where are we wasting money? I give the example of this biro without getting tired. You would not buy it for more than 30 shillings. The government, most of the times through procurement, is buying it for 200, 300 shillings.
Okay.
The bulk of what we collect, we waste. Look at how many vehicles are lying in government offices, kwa yards, kwa XGK, zilipata vumbi zinakaa hivi, no, nambo iliharibu starter, iliharibu alternator. Why don't we create an auction and fast sell all that stuff and get some money to run some of this? So I think we are wasting a lot of money before, we are wasting a lot of money first. Let's first deal with what we are wasting.
Have they done enough to curb government wastage?
If I can,
don't you think?
If I can